It's the DMV Dine-In podcast, where we highlight the best restaurants, featuring the most talented chefs and bartenders, top restaurant owners, and the savviest local foodies in the DMV. I'm your host, Elaine Espinola. Come dine with us, DMV style. Hey, DMV Diners. Thanks for joining us for another great episode of the DMV Dine-In podcast. We are thrilled to bring our love of the DMV food scene to you. This episode of the DMV Dine-In is especially exciting for me because we are in the heart of Adams Morgan. This is my old neighborhood. In fact, I just drove by my old apartment on my way here. We are at Tiki on 18th, and that serves amazing Filipino food and incredible drinks. Today, we're sitting down with the owner, Jo-Jo Valenzuela, to share more about his passion for serving amazing Filipino cuisine in a beautiful Tiki-inspired atmosphere. Thank you so much for having us, Jo-Jo.
Well, thank you for having us.
This is
Appreciate
really,
you thinking of us.
Oh my gosh, this is a huge honor for me. Okay, you know I'm Filipino, so this is exciting for me. We have not covered any other Filipino restaurant. Of course, I love everything Filipino, including our food and our culture, and I love seeing it become more mainstream, like having this awesome restaurant here right in the heart of Adams Morgan. But let's take it back to the Philippines for 1 second, because I know that's where you were born.
Yeah, born and raised, yeah.
Okay, so what part of the Philippines are you from?
I was born and raised in Cainta, Rizal, so about like half an hour away from Manila.
Okay, all right. And tell me a little bit about your passion for cooking. Where did that come from?
Well, I've been in the restaurant industry, hospitality industry for closer to 3 decades now. Oh my God, I'm old.
Not at all.
I just realized that did the math.
I know, let's not do math. That's always, yeah.
But so I've been a bartender for a long time,
Yeah.
and of course I've always been surrounded with food. Worked for the really best. Very best chefs in DC, award-winning chefs like Michelin now,
Awesome.
and a lot of James Beard awards. But most of the love for food came from my mom, because she was like the epitome of like the term foodie before foodie ever came about.
Yeah.
And she just loved exploring food, and then she always tried to expose us to different cultures, and that's where it started.
Okay.
I would say.
Would you say some of your recipes are sort of inspired from recipes that your mom had made, or you're learning through her?
Majority of it is, I guess, like if we have to pinpoint a style or how I came up with those recipes, is more so on if I loved a particular dish, I don't stop there. I would always try to go out in to different restaurants and try their version, because everybody makes things differently. Everybody has their own recipes, and I try to build my own Frankenstein.
Very cool.
So I guess that's that. And I don't really follow recipes. I create recipes for the restaurant.
You're a chef, so that's what you're doing, yeah.
But I don't open a book or a recipe book and then follow it down to the T, because I've always been taught that recipes are guidelines. You don't just follow it like, a pinch of salt, really? Right. What if, So
Yeah.
you always have to adjust.
Yeah, got it. Great, cool. Thanks for sharing that. For anyone who has never had Filipino food, I'm sure you have a lot of Filipinos flocking here to come here for your great food, but if someone hasn't, how would you describe it?
It's highly influenced by Spanish and Chinese food. How about that? And then Malaysian and Indonesian food definitely plays a big role, but not a lot of people are exposed to that either.
Yeah, I could tell you growing up, when people would ask me, they're like, is it like Chinese food? And I'd be like, not really. Is it like Thai food? Like, no, it's not so spicy, And so,
Correct.
I'm always looking for this great explanation of what is our cuisine, and hey, it's just delicious. That's what I can come back to.
Yeah, people always assume that it's going to be spicy. It's not.
Right.
However, when I do say spicy on the menu, expect it to be there.
Okay, cool. All right, well, let's talk about that menu here at Tiki on 18th. Let's talk about your small plates first. I love that you have all these different variations of sisig. Tell us about that.
Well, sisig, I definitely grew up on that.
Okay.
So, like, when I was in high school, when, like, if my mom, like, gives me a little bit of money and then I have a little bit of spending money to go out and eat,
Yeah.
I would definitely order that at a fast food somewhere. Like,
Okay.
like, go to the mall. Because in the Philippines, like, the fast food has these kind of food, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And I would always spend my money on those. And it's different. It's like, but people would say, like, that's not the right sisig. I don't care. I love it. There's no way to mess up sisig. I mean, yeah, you can, you could nitpick, but, yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? The other thing, too, is the Filipino food that I've had, right? It's like, I know what my family's flavor tastes like,
right.
but you go to another family, it's a little different anyway.
Correct.
It's always just a little different depending on, the family recipe and all that. And I just love that you have all these cool different variations.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Also, lumpia.
Yeah.
I think for people that don't know too much about Filipino food, they'll say things like, "Oh, I had those egg rolls,"
Right.
so they might be familiar with that. And you have 5 different types here. That's super cool.
It used to be more, really.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You narrowed it down?
Yeah, just recently. I mean, because I always fool around with the menu.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so I guess the definition of lumpia is spring rolls. Whether you're using egg rolls or like eggshells or rice shells. So it depends on what you're using, but. Yeah, I definitely grew up on that too. Cause I mean, like as a Filipino, you go out to parties. That's what you eat.
That's what you eat.
It's lumpia and then sweet spaghetti.
Yeah,
and then probably like pork barbecue.
that's right.
So it's not like an everyday thing that you cook at home, but everybody else like serves it at parties.
Yeah,
And
it's time consuming.
Correct.
Yeah.
And even here, when somebody finds out, oh, you're Filipino? Yes, I am. Oh my God, I've had lumpia before. I'm like, how many times do you hear that?
Right.
It's like, oh, I've had lumpia and I've had adobo and pancit. It's all common.
Right.
So that being said, here we started out with the pork and mushroom lumpia, like the lumpia in Shanghai. What's common. Mm-hmm. And then I followed that with the lumpia gulay, which is vegetables.
Okay.
And then next thing you know, like my partner told me, like, hey, why don't you create some lumpia? Well, actually, there's a handful, more than a handful. I can come up with a whole lot.
Yeah.
Because like anything you could
put in there and fry it.
Correct.
Right.
And
That's
so
fun.
yeah, so like one of the popular ones before I left the Philippines was the cheese lumpia or cheese sticks. Mm-hmm. So I did that, and then now it's like flying like hotcakes. And I created a buffalo wing version.
I saw that on. That's very cool.
Yeah, so it's called Buff Chicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like all the flavors of buffalo wings, like celery, carrots, like dip it in blue cheese.
I bet they're
dressing.
popular.
Yeah, they're popular.
Yeah,
Extremely popular.
That's awesome. Your big plates look really awesome too. What would you say differentiates? I think we talked about this a little bit, but your dishes from like other Filipino restaurants.
Well, yeah. Again, I do not follow recipes, but I follow my memories. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh my God, I really love this salmon dish before. I want to put my own spin without staying away from the original recipe. So things like that. Like now, like the current one has like the chicken tinola, pork menudo, bistec Tagalog, like the salmon. So those are like homey food. Like before I didn't really want to cook those food. Because like I want people to have like this experience. But what changed my mind was recently, like I thought about like like the people who come here are the people who do not really cook or miss their families cooking.
Yeah.
And they cannot do that for themselves anymore. So it was like, oh well, you know what? Yeah, let me do that, and it's been very successful.
Yeah, that's insightful.
Yeah, I'm happy that how it turned out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I noticed. So, do you change your menu every now and then?
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, I noticed there's no adobo on it right now.
Right now.
Yeah. I was looking. Where's the adobo?
Yeah,
I didn't
it
see
was there like the previously. So I change it about 3 to 4 times a year.
Okay.
Yeah, like and there's times that what, hey, I'm feeling this right now. Let me change a couple more things. So yeah.
Yeah. And if you need adobo, hey, make it at home. It's quick and easy.
That's what I had for breakfast.
Me too. Leftovers.
Right. Yeah, because like the leftover adobo is the best.
Yeah, it's been marinating.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, let's talk about desserts.
Yeah.
Your dessert menu is awesome. You had definitely have everything on there that a Filipino person would want to order, and everything I think a non-Filipino person needs to order.
Right.
Let's talk about your menu a little bit. I see some ube. What did I see? Ube cheesecake on there.
The
Halo
cheesecake.
halo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is that time consuming to make the halo halo?
It does. So you just have to prep it ahead of time.
Oh,
you know, you have to have the cup ready with all the ingredients, and then you just like add the ice and a scoop of ice cream, and then topping it.
Yeah. And I guess real quick, for anyone who doesn't know what that is, how do you describe that?
Halo, if you have to translate it, means mix, because halo is mix.
Okay.
And it's just a mixture of a whole lot of stuff, right? And it's weird for a lot of people.
I think so.
Yeah, because like they're just not expecting that, like that something savory is sweet and then presented that way. But hey, that's what I grew up on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Every Filipino, it's like their comfort food. But yeah, non-Filipino people are like, I'm not so sure about that.
Right.
But they should give it a try.
Yeah, but like we have the ube cheesecake, which is my lovely wife actually makes it for us. So she has this side business called Figgy Pops, where she started like more than a decade ago, I guess, and then she fooled around with the ube cheesecake during COVID, the height of COVID, and we basically like we were honest with each other. I'm like, that's good, but it can do better, until like she hit the sweet spot, and I'm like, no. That's the best cheesecake I've ever had.
Right.
The best ube cheesecake I've ever had. And then next thing you know, like, let's do that. So as soon as like we were ready to do it here, we're killing it with that.
That's awesome.
It's I'm a big cheesecake fan, and then ube cheesecake rocks my world.
Oh my gosh, I'll have to try that sometime.
You should.
And you know what? I feel like as I've been talking to different people, COVID has brought out the creativity in people because you kind of had to. You had this time on your hands, and trying a new thing. So that's great. I have a funny story for you. You may or may not remember this because I know you see a lot of people in and out of these doors, but I came here with my kids a couple years ago. Yeah, you were so cool. You were talking to my son.
Your kid's birthday, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, you do have a good memory. All right. So we ordered food. It was delicious. And then you came out, maybe because it was his birthday, you gave us a free dessert. Of course, kids love that. They got all excited. They started digging in, and it was the, am I saying it right? Turon?
Turon, yeah.
Turon.
Yeah.
So it's the fried banana.
Yeah.
Sweet and delicious. And my kids are just digging in, just loving it. It was so great. And I was kind of over here laughing because my son hates bananas.
Oh, does he really?
And he was eating it. Like, this is so good. What is this? And I knew what it was.
Right.
So I was like laughing over here because like he's the kind of kid, if he sees someone down the street eating a banana, he will gag. He hates that. Wow. He hates bananas. So that's like a hilarious story for me. And afterwards I told him, and he was kind of mad at me, like, why'd you let me eat that? And I'm like, but you liked it.
Right.
But you
as long as he's not allergic.
Not allergic. He just, something about mushy bananas.
Right, because one of my kids is actually allergic to bananas, so he's never going to touch that.
Oh, my gosh. No, not allergic. Just didn't love bananas. Right. And I think he'll probably never do it again if he knows.
No,
now he knows. Now he knows what he said, but he loved it. Good. Is my point. And that's a funny story. So thank you for that. That was awesome. All right, let's talk about your drink list. Yeah. It is insane. I know you do have a background in bartending and sommelier. Is that right? Tell me about your drink list because it's pretty awesome.
So we're a Tiki bar, right? And Tiki is anything like tropical fruit and stuff like that. Like poured in like fancy glassware. Like I'm not gonna take credit for these drinks. This is actually the creation of my good buddy Rico Wisner, who is one of the most talented bartenders in DC, and he has this passion about tiki drinks. That's why when he took over, he just like took it to another level. So all the credit goes to him. He's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I have sat outside on your patio and it is packed and everybody has a cool tiki glass and cool things coming out of it and umbrellas and awesome stuff. I mean, they're like a work of art, very creative, very amazing. Have you guys gotten awards for this? You should if you haven't.
I mean, we get mentions here and there.
Yeah.
Accolades are just accolades.
That's true. Well,
it's still about your experience when you're here,
Yeah. So. Well, I can attest, having been here plenty, the experience is amazing.
Thank you.
Tell us about your happy hour.
Happy hour is nuts.
Yeah.
Because beforehand, or there's no history of happy hour in Adams Morgan. It just doesn't exist. And during COVID, we were still trying to, again, when the term pivoting was legit, we really tried our best. And recently, maybe like a year ago, that's when I kind of created like this happy hour menu where I featured these things, but just like serve them in smaller plates, like in so not even like starter portion, like even like smaller. And now it's like crazy. So we get killed during like a happy hour.
Good for you. That's a great
I'm very
thing.
happy with that. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And let's talk about your outside seating. So that all happened as well through COVID when you were allowed to put the seating outside. Yours is gorgeous.
Thank you.
See it for like if you're coming up 18th or down 18th, you can see your guys' situation outside. That gets pretty packed. Is that open every day? I mean, maybe not in the winter, but
yeah, we out of consistency purposes, we open every day.
Got it.
Like, as soon as like the doors open inside, it's open out there.
Got it.
And I think that's the best decision we've ever made because like we just kept it consistent.
Yeah.
Even though it's like, well, it's not really beautiful out, but hey, some people are still practicing. Like, they cannot be indoors.
Sure.
And you would have like 10, 12, 15 people out there, and it's still fine.
That's awesome.
But that definitely saved our business because like COVID, like we started with a sports bar downstairs, right? I mean, we turned 4 couple of days ago, and
Congrats.
Thank you. And then we turned upstairs into Tiki, and then like COVID happened, we thought we were gonna falter because I was like, oh my god, like there's no more business. And then luckily, like the government gave us like the opportunity to open outside because beforehand the biggest challenge was we did not get any foot traffic. We get a lot of like chefs and bartenders who like dine here like every night.
Oh, okay.
So that's what kept us going because like oh my god, like I see these people like and they talk about us and they send people over, and then of course those outsiders like people from like New York, Pennsylvania, like that come like that has heard the news, they visit, but that's it. Like you really like you're walking out there, you barely notice it because either you go downstairs or come upstairs.
Right.
There's no foot traffic, and then the government told us like, yeah, you can have the street tables, and then all right, well now we have like visibility outside. We took advantage of that, and when they gave us the little bit of help, like, hey, here's some money, winterize your patio. Every single penny of it went out there.
Got it.
And not everybody took in the neighborhood took advantage of that because like everybody was struggling, but us, it was like this is our chance. So for a whole year we were like the one outside, and we stood out. And suddenly now it's an even playing field. So we're we're in good shape.
Good for you. Smart thinking.
It's still a struggle though. So but
I've watched it grow. From the very beginning when COVID happened and the outdoor space was smaller and now it's gorgeous. I personally hope that the outdoor seating kind of stays forever for all these restaurants. I mean, some people just enjoy being outside. Correct, COVID or not COVID, it's just kind of nice. Think about European countries. They're outside when it's freezing, drinking their coffee, we can too. Okay, lastly, for anyone who hasn't been here, how would you describe the vibe up here? The atmosphere?
There's definitely like energy up here because like that's what we did that stayed away from what is expected of Tiki. So we are, I guess, what you would call a modern Tiki bar because like if you ask us like, well, what's Tiki? We could geek out with you. We could geek out with the best because like we really know like all the history and all this stuff, but we want to be different without being disrespectful. To it. So I guess so we have a little bit of louder music, but it's a fun vibe. It's carefully chosen what's going to be on the playlist. Like all 3 different floors have different music, which is like kind of cool. And you see it's not a big spot. We can only fit up like probably up to like 40 people up here. The energy's great. Loud enough that people can still talk and enjoy. But like where can you go for Filipino food and have like actually delicious cocktails? It's never been done before.
Right. So. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. I love it here. I think the food is great. Everything you've done, the design, it's modern, it's fun, it's great, it's perfect. It's really, really great. All right, JoJo, we are getting ready for what we call the lightning round. So thank you for that great interview. Thank you for sharing.
Cheers.
Now we just want to hear about like JoJo. What are his favorite things?
Okay.
You ready? All right. So what is your favorite dish on the menu? Like your sort of go-to?
Sisig.
Got it. Which one?
Spicy sisig, like the pork sisig. Yeah, my favorite dish.
Your favorite,
yeah,
okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
You've got 5 lumpias on the menu right now. I know you change it up, but which is your favorite?
Lumpia Shanghai.
Okay.
I mean,
Traditional.
That's what started it all.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if I didn't have a good lumpia Shanghai, we're not going to take off.
There you go. I saw somewhere in your menu a sauce called like sexy sauce or like
Sexy thing sauce.
Yeah, what is that?
I just had to come with something silly,
Yeah.
and then it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
How it
Your
turned
whole
out.
menu is really cool. Lots of fun stuff on there, like the wording and stuff. All right. Your go-to, I already know this, dessert item.
Yeah, ube cheesecake.
Got it. Do you have a favorite drink on the drink menu?
One of the classic Tiki drinks, Saturn, is my personal favorite. It's gin based. It has orgeat. It's delicious.
Saturn.
Yeah. Even when I go out to other Tiki bars, that's what I tend to order.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Best seat in the house here.
Best seat in the
If you
house
have
is
one.
always at the bar. Yeah, but rarely do people come by themselves, right? Because like it's a gathering place. So I guess anything close to the window up here would be what's best for people.
Cool. Do you have a night, like one of the most memorable nights in this restaurant up here?
2 when the Nats actually won. That was something crazy. Because we and then I played we Are the Champions, and everybody was just like singing and crying.
Oh yeah,
it was ridiculous.
That's fun.
And then a couple of days ago when we turned 4, that was a special night.
Yeah.
My wife invited all of her friends, and everybody showed up.
Nice.
Like downstairs was full, like outside was full, and then I thought it was dwindling down, and then next thing you know, like the Filipino chefs in the area like all showed up.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that was great.
That's awesome.
I don't think I'm ever gonna forget that moment.
Oh,
That was great.
That's wonderful. Congratulations. And it's great to hear that the
you.
Filipino community and the different restaurants are also supportive of one another.
Right.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Very cool. Let's see. Okay, last question. Of course, you eat here a lot, but if you're not here, where are we going to find JoJo and his family? Where do you like to eat too outside of here?
We love Chinese food. So I go to Hong Kong Pearl a lot.
Okay.
In 7 Corners. Even though we're very far now, we still make our way there. We go for burgers. I like Lucky Buns.
Okay.
Lucky Buns a lot.
Cool.
And I'm a sucker for fried chicken too. So you would see me venturing out with the kids.
Yeah.
Looking for the best fried chicken.
Oh
So,
man, have you ever had Korean fried chicken?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, it's so good.
Many times.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Well, I love to ask restaurant owners and chefs because I feel like you know good food. So wherever you guys are going, I'm trying to go there too.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for this great interview. It's been so much fun, and I loved hearing all about your passion and about your menu. Thank you, JoJo.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Well, that's it for today. We want to thank you for listening, and thanks to Jo-Jo Valenzuela, the owner of Tiki on 18th and the Game Sports Pub right downstairs, for hosting us today. Make sure you check out these restaurants soon. I promise you will not be disappointed. Follow them on social media at Tiki on 18th DC. And don't forget to follow us at DMV Dine-In. And if you like this episode, hey, give us a like and give us a review too. Until next time, I'm Elaine Espinola. Thanks for dining with us, DMV style. Salamat po, and cheers.
Cheers.